Hi there, it's Dr. JOYLYN Sparkles and welcome to your Power Hour. This is your time to put what's on your mind, on my mind, and we'll put our heads and hearts together and we're going to find a way to go from stuck to happy as fuck in the shortest amount of time possible. Because time is of the essence. It's your life and no need to waste another second of it on bullshit stories and energy drains that don't actually do anything or get you anywhere, okay? We've done that, experimented, played with it long enough to know we more or less end up kind of where we started. And though there is no waste in the universe and nothing will ever have been wrong, now we can actually stop running repetitions of the same experiment and trust that we have the information that we need to move on and actually get to and arrive where it is we'd like to land with greater ease and speed. Okay, that's what Power Hour is about. That's my gift, is to put it into language about how to do that. Because if you aren't familiar with me, the Happiness Clinic was actually born from a great amount of unhappiness and a very, very deep, thorough knowledge and experience of what it's like to be so completely disconnected from you and forget who you are and why you came, that depression, suicide, eating disorders, codependency, narcissism, empathic role playing, all of those were my lived experience. And now they may visit on occasion, but I can recognize them and usher them out and return to full-on good, sing-songy, happy times with marshmallows and rainbow sprinkles in my favorite place, JOYLYN Land, okay? That's what's available to you if you so choose. That's what all the Happiness Clinic programs are designed in, around, and for. And how I do this, what I've learned, is that it is what I call, and have trademarked, the future forward focus. Because what happens is we get fixated on the problem. We want to fix it. We want to fix it so bad so that everything's about fixing this problem, but then we fixate on it. That's all we look at. It's all we talk about. It's all we think about. And then it becomes a fixture in our lives to where even our relationships are based on this problem. Our identities are based on this problem. So that it can't actually go away, because without it, we won't know who we are. And let me tell you, there is no greater threat to your subconscious than not knowing who you are. Because if you don't know who you are, you don't exist. And that's the same as being dead. And it only has one job, and that's don't die, okay? Somehow the subconscious is that part of us that has just enough soul connection to know that it's eternal, but not quite enough the experience or connection to the superconscious to know how that actually plays out in reality, okay? So where a lot of conventional modalities and therapies and tricks, information, where they all go wrong, is to look at the subconscious and either talk about it with warring language, like we're battling with it, you're at war with it, you got to combat it, you got to fight it. This isn't a war, because then you're at war with yourself, and an internal conflict will never lead to greater coherence, a greater sense of integrity, and a feeling of worthiness. Some part of you will have to die. And let's tell you, the subconscious knows that it won't. So it's kind of a losing battle. The other thing is there's an incomplete understanding of the function of the subconscious and relegating it to the lower realms. It is subconscious for a reason. We need it to be. We need to not have to think about every single thing we're doing. If we had to think about every breath, every heartbeat, every reflex, we could do nothing more than be flowers or bugs or amoebas, okay? Because that that's what their entire existence is about, is just surviving. We have more going on, higher brain centers, so that it's actually a gift to be able to learn something, make it a habit, and put it in the subconscious, and then know that it's going to run and it's going to function. That is a gift that's actually going to allow us to go farther, faster. The big problem is that so much of the information that's become habit was not ours, and it was programmed and implanted before we had the capacity to say, ooh, that's not healthy. That doesn't actually make sense. That's the opposite of fun. Okay? So a lot of what has become habit, what we have conditioned our bodies to, isn't healthy, it isn't fun, and it isn't anything beyond survival. So that's what we're actually looking to dismantle, deconfigure, and pull out of the subconscious. But we have to understand that the subconscious is never going to stop working, and it doesn't do well with functional or operative terms like stop, don't. It doesn't really understand them. So that if we're going to uproot these things, we need to have something else to put in its place other than just this vacuum of space. Because where space is healing, and where it works in the function with the subconscious is as a pattern interrupt to get the attention of the subconscious, to let it know that we're changing the script. We actually then have to have another script to insert. Otherwise, we're in some way, shape, or form dead in the water as far as our lives, our futures will be sitting ducks and at the mercy of the subconscious, which is going to run in perpetuity with whatever script is already in place. Because once it got the don't, it was like, I don't know what to do with this. I'm just going to keep going with what I have. Because it only knows its function. It does not have any imaginary capacity. That is where conscious and superconscious come in. Now, what's great about this is that we do have these higher brain centers, so we can call in conscious and superconscious help to help direct the subconscious. And how we do that is to consciously create a new script that we want to put in. It's what I call the future forward focus. Where do we want to go? Who do we want to be? Because a lot of us consciously are now aware that when we look around at our life, we're kind of like, oh, it stinks. It's a little bit shitty here. What the hell is this? How did this happen? And if you've been listening to me long enough, you know that this shit didn't just happen to you. You happened. So you were making choices and oh yeah, running according to a subconscious script that could only allow this to show up. These subconscious scripts, and I'll just give you some of my examples, no one's ever going to listen to you. No one's interested in what you have to say. Someone else is the most interesting thing about you, because I'm an identical twin. I had that one for a while. Good things don't happen or they cost too much. Good things happen for other people. Miracles don't happen for me. I don't exist. I'm not really here. This isn't really happening. I have no control. Do you see how that if any one of these things are in operation, what kind of crap you can actually design and create and then have as your reality? And here's the kicker, folks. At one point in my life, they were all running at once. Is it really a surprise that I was really struggling with eating disorders, depression, and suicide? Not really. That's a heavy load, okay? But there is gifts and there is grace. And sometimes when things get so bad and the pain hurts so bad, we will finally call into question, what the hell is this? How can I change this? And once our curiosity shifts into what else is possible, other things become possible. But not until then. But that is the gift of pain. It is the function of pain. It is to get our attention. Pain is a messenger. And it will shake you or it will take you. Okay? It can make you or break you. It just depends on how you respond to it. If you react to it, you are swept away with it and you get to do it all over again. No big deal. We will do that until that getting swept away and landing someplace that is stinky and sticky and muddy becomes a little bit boring, or that rocky, bumpy, getting cut and bruised and battered is a little too exhausting, that then we'll say, okay, what if I flow with this and listen to what it has to say and see what my options are here so I don't just grasp at the first thing that's possible. And then once you know it, little by little, signs of land come up, little lifesaver rafts come up, little people on the side of the bank say, hey, just a little bit farther and it's going to be a sandy place and it's shallow, you can step out easier. You're going to hear messages, okay? But it's not until you change your mind about what's possible. A lot of you are already there. You have awakened to that amount. You either have had enough pain to where you know, my life sucks and I don't like this and something else has got to change. And I've tried a couple of things and I still somehow end up in kind of a shitty place. What the hell? So you've done some work, all right? Now what's probably happened is you were missing this piece about the future forward focus because there is a lot of misunderstanding and gaps in information about how and what the subconscious does and how it functions. It's not your enemy. It's not something to overcome. It is something to work with and use. It is a tool. It is in you. It is animated by your soul, and it's very, very functional as far as it allows you to eat, breathe, sleep, and even have some default patterns running so that you don't have to be consciously thinking about them, so that you can have your creative brain in operation. Okay? You can trust that some things are going on. What we've got to do is take out these shitty ones, though, these stupid default scripts of how I'm worthless, I'm unlovable, nobody's gonna help me, I have to do this all on my own, the world is scary, everybody's against me, it's a dog-eat-dog world, whatever the hell that is creating what it is you're seeing that is showing up that you don't like, of I'm fat, I'm ugly, I'm alone, I'm lonely, I'm broke. And you're seeing that and you're very well aware, I don't like that. Okay, that is our starting spot. And that's where we start in every single happiness clinic program, because it's those things that is what finally gets you to reach out and say, Dr. JOYLYN Sparkles, you have got to help me because I am stuck. And I'll say, I know that feeling, and it blows. Let's get you out of there, okay? Here's my hand. Trust my confidence. This is changing, and it's already changing, okay? And what we're going to do from here is come up with a future forward focus. What that means is you have to know where you're going from here. Because if all you do is worry that you're going to end up here, guess what? You will. You are a powerful creator. You are God incarnate. Now, for those of you who are very, very Christian, that sounds blasphemous, but let me tell you, you cannot separate the creator from the created. You are a creation, and so that God spark is in you, so you are powerful as fuck, and you can't get away from it. And your creative powers are on at all times, just like a superhero has superpowers, and they're on at all times. You can't turn it off. But what you've been doing with your thoughts and your words is creating crap. And we just have to acknowledge that, get out of the habit and the very, very deep temptation to beat ourselves up for that is how it will not remediate or help us correct the situation in any way, shape, or form. Judgment will never help. It will only slow the process down. So we just have to recognize that that's what we've been doing, because that's the modeling we had. That's what we saw around us. That's all we knew. That's the information we had at the time. But now we're ready for something else. Now we get to use our conscious and even a little bit of superconscious to say, ooh, anything's possible? What would I like? Now, in this future forward, I will tell you, start where you are and do something, and here's where your body is actually going to help you out. Pick something that actually feels good. Because if you are broke as fuck and you say, I'm going to make $1 million in 4 days, there's a good chance that that actually doesn't feel good cellularly. Because it too much kicks into operation a lot of those limiting beliefs about what actually is and isn't possible, how reality really actually works, and a lot of money stuff or worthiness stuff or self-esteem stuff. So don't do that. That's just more abuse. So pick something like, I am a valuable contribution wherever I am. Something that actually resonates as true, like my body actually just lit up there. I am valuable in whatever role that I have. I offer valuable contribution. Like you can see, I think my face is even changing, and I feel like my hair's getting blonder, my shirt's getting yellower or something. I don't know. There's just more sunshine there, because that's true. You pick something like that. That's a future forward. It's starting to see you in a different way. It's also can be things like, I trust myself to make good decisions. Because a lot of us have told us, I don't know how to make, and so we've left it up to other people to decide, put ourselves on other timelines, and been feeling really powerless. But now it's, when I listen to myself and I go with that gut knowing, that turns out all right. A lot of times it's really, really scary in the moment, but it turns out good, like weird good, So I can actually trust I'll make good decisions. I can do that. Okay. And it's not that I have to have done that already. That's how I want to show up. I want to show up and know myself as someone who trusts me to make good decisions. I've got my best interest at heart, and I make good decisions because I listen to my intuition, which is your superconscious. Okay? Isn't this fun? Okay. There is a future forward target. I listen to my soul. I listen to my intuition. Okay, great. These are the things that we can target and say, this is how I'm going to show up from now on. Now, what we would all like, myself included, is to say, that's what I want, there, now it's in place. Wouldn't that be fucking fantastic? Except for you forgot this one thing. Right. We are human beings on a 3-dimensional reality, and we actually have bodies. Oh, and that subconscious thing I talked about, it's actually in your body. It's actually the wiring, the biochemistry, biophysiology of your body. Like, the subconscious isn't just a theoretical thing. It is this, okay? Now, your superconscious also is housed in the same thing, so there's so much beautiful complexity here. But we actually have to rewire and recalibrate our nervous system to resonate with these new targets, which cannot and will not happen in one repetition, except in the very odd instances of either trauma or miracles. Like you'll see that in wartime, somebody was very emotionally open, so that then when there was some sort of explosive situation, that something got densely wired in right at that moment. And that can similarly happen to a lot of people in near-death experiences, where then all of a sudden they are gifted this really great information about how connected we are. So it is within the realm of possibilities, but for what we are doing, for where we are at this time, and because we can't control those events, and please don't call in a near-death experience. We don't tend to orchestrate those very well. So we have to do the normal grind, shadow work, if you will, of the repetition to actually rewire and recalibrate and heal our nervous systems to get them to fire different sequences at different frequencies, for us to raise our vibrational level, for us to be thinking different thoughts, feeling different emotions on the regular. Now, what this is going to take is repetition. Lots and lots of repetition. And rest that will allow for integration. Now, what's fabulous here is that with the thoughts and emotions, we actually have conscious control, and we can actually ask our superconscious to help us out with our imaginative capacity to call in the feelings of what it would be like to have this, because thoughts and feelings are electromagnetic components. A thought is electrical, and it is sending a signal out to the universe. This is what I want. Now, when we have a feeling, it has a magnetic, it's a charge. It's got a charge, and it will draw the experience that resonates with that charge in. But with the thoughts, we'll create that charge, and we can do that consciously so that we can be thinking the thoughts that generate the gratitude of having whatever experience we'd like to have already. Now, here's where we've got to be cautious. It's not about wishing and hoping, because those often bring in a sadness and a reminder that something's not there. We actually have to cultivate the elation and gratitude of actually having it already. Because what happens is it's going to happen in the energetic first, and then it's going to realize here. And whatever our imagination comes up with, the feeling will be real, but the actual how it happens may or may not happen that way. That's how we have to release our attachment to outcome in the pictures that we get. They're actually just going to be snippets that are going to bring in these feelings. And then we have to do this over and over, because what we're doing is doing sort of like an exposure therapy for our nervous system, for our subconscious, to say these feelings are real and they're safe. Hey, this feeling's here again. It's safe. Hey, remember this feeling? It's safe. Oh, you know happiness. Yeah, she came again. Oh, you know inspiration. Yeah, it came again. Because otherwise the subconscious says, I don't know you, stranger danger, go away. That's why one and done doesn't work. We have to do this over and over. Now, I have designed every single one of the Happiness Clinic programs to work around this information. That's why they're so effective. There's also me, who is the creatrix and I guess chief operational officer. I don't know what my title would be. I'm your coach. I'm the facilitator. And I have done this stuff so much that I know what works and what doesn't. And I've done so much stuff that doesn't. That with me there is such a space of non-judgment. You get such an open field to play in that you don't have to be looking over your shoulder wondering if somebody's going to get mad at you. And if it is, it's just you. But you get to see that enough times to recognize, oh, I don't even have to do that anymore. This is just part of the process, because that's all I'm going to say. This is part of the process. So I want to invite you into this part of JOYLYN land that's your practice space, of a no judgment space. Nature has it for you. But these programs are designed to put you in a future forward focus so that already from the get-go you are going to get further than in any other program you ever had, because it's not going to try to immediately understand the past and stay put first. It's not going to have you stand still. It's not going to have you look backwards. It's going to have you look forward. And you know, if you've ever ridden a bike or driven a car, that where you're looking is naturally where you're going to go. Walking does the same. If you start looking to the side or backward or down, that's where you tend to go. So that if I'm saying, hey, look ahead, that's where you're going to go. Look at who you're going to be. That's who you're going to become. Look at how you're going to show up. That's who's going to start showing up right away. This conversation's already started that motion. Now, a program that actually just started and I am taking people through next Monday for this session is Happiness Brain Training. And this is where you get a really in-depth feeling of the level of repetition that it takes to do this, because you set your target. There's a video that's going to take you you can watch this Power Hour again. There's a Happiness Clinic that I did a year ago that talks about how to do this. There's an instructional video. So there are so many coaching resources on how to set your target so that it's not based on fixing and it's not based on what you can and can't have. It's how to actually create a future forward focused target. And then for the next 66 days, you're telling me that target every day and a reason why you can have it. Because it takes an average of 66 days to create a new habit, and we're creating a new habit. We're not worrying about destroying anything else. We're actually just going to upgrade the system. The other things will start to fall away on their own. We're actually going to be laying down new tracks so that there's actually a preferred way to think. And we're laying that down, and it's going to be for a while side by side with the old one so that there will be options, but that new one's there. And then over the next 66 days, because we've got gratitude built in, and that helps prune the synapses as well, it's going to start being your preferred way of thinking about yourself and your life and what's possible for you. And this program is so effective. Every time I run it and I see the transformation that happens for me, because I'm in it every time, and for all the people who are in it, it is unbelievable how much shifting and changing can happen with such little effort. It's a text. You text me every day. And, oh, by the way, it's in Telegram, and there's animated emojis, and it's a really supportive community who gives you stickers and high fives for being awesome. Because we all know that it takes a badass to even start down this, to even try to do something different than you've ever done. And to keep going, because the going does get tough. It's not that this from day one it changes and it only goes up from there. There's a little bit of this. I wish I could even it out, but this is the fastest and easiest I found to do it, okay? There's a little bit of upheaval because you're going to have to be letting go of some old bits, and you might have to be dismantling a little bit of old track in order to, make a crossing here for this one. Whatever your brain's doing. There's going to be times where you're just like, I just can't freaking handle this, because your body's like, hey, I need a little rest, and that's okay. Because you're going to get it at the end of 66 days. There's a break. There's always a break before the next one, because I won't roll right into the next one, because I know that a lot of times they're still unfolding and unrolling after these 66 days. But from this 66 days, you are a fundamentally different person. And your brain is literally changed. You have changed the biochemistry and biophysiology of your neural system. Just think about that. And it's not that hard. And it doesn't cost that much time or money. So that is something I would really like to invite you to explore, is Happiness Brain Training. I'm going to put the link in this post because it is a phenomenal program. And from there, or with that, you can also be checking out the 6-week Get Unstuck and Happy as Fuck Challenge, where we really kick it up a bunch of notches with a whole lot more trauma recovery than really, because the issues are in the tissues, we really get much deeper into the body involvement and how to recover from trauma and regenerate and recreate a new identity for ourselves, even to the next level beyond Happiness Brain Training. Then there's the 90-day relationship remodel, where it's individual. So it's all about you the entire time. So if there's something that's really deep that you've been struggling with for a long time, we're going to get to that. And you're going to have the support that you need. Oh, because with that one, you get coach in your back pocket. You can actually text me at any time. Because when it's hard and heavy and you feel super pressed and you don't know what to do and you think you're just going to blow up your life, or, oh, you already did because you sent that text, and what do you do now? You've got support. And then Love Yourselves is coming up in just another week. or 2. That one is currently by invitation only, so you can get on the wait list, but that's where we're actually talking naturopathic medicine. Again, bringing the body involvement, the body meets the spirit, how they're actually all housed in this magical meat suit, what nutrients you need, how to let go of limiting beliefs, how to change your shape and your fitness level so that everything is resonating with this next version of you and this future forward vision that you have for yourself. All of this is possible. Happiness Brain Training is one of the most amazing places to start, and it's fun. It's fun. And so I'm going to end with that invitation to you. There are several members in this group who are or have been in Happiness Brain Training, so feel free to reach out and ask them for their experience, because it is a phenomenal group, a phenomenal resource, a phenomenal coaching program that really is based on the latest neuroscience research and has a freaking phenomenal facilitator that won't let you fall through the cracks, and you're going to change in 66 days. So before Thanksgiving, this one ends like in the middle of November. So before Thanksgiving, you're going to be a different person going through the holidays. Just think about the possibilities of that and say yes. It's your time. And like what I said, we're going to get you from whatever level of stuck to happy as fuck in the shortest amount of time. Don't waste yours. It's precious. It's valuable. You can do it on your own. You can do it with a million different other ways to do it. It's your time. Please don't waste it, because the world, your happiness is just waiting for you to say yes. So say yes. Happiness Brain Training is an easy yes. It's so freaking fun. All right. I love you, and thank you for joining me on this Power Hour. It is my pleasure to be and share with you, and I am already looking forward to next week. I love you. Thank you for all those hearts, Thomas. I love it. And I'll see you next week. Mwah.